I've always enjoyed makeup. I mean, I can remember being a little girl and just sneaking into my mom's bathroom and stealing some of her makeup and going and trying it in my bedroom. It's just something I've always enjoyed. I love the creativity from it. I just enjoy sitting at my vanity table and trying new things and figuring out new combos of highlighter and blush and you name it. I just always enjoy it. This video is focused on two things. One, I'm going to show you how much of a difference you see in doing blush, highlight, bronzer, a little bit of contour, versus just having a flat face of foundation and concealer. So I'll put on the foundation and concealer so you can see just how flat the face is, and then I walk you through the process of applying those other products so you can maybe see how to put them on, or at least you can see how big of a difference they make in the end. So if you want to see anything about this makeup I'm wearing, keep on watching. And also, I have to tell you that Sephora is doing their spring savings event. Sephora savings events are my favorite things. The Rouge access starts on April 17th. If you're Rouge, you get 20% off. This is all online, of course. And then the all-tier access will start on April 23rd. So in case you are sitting there wondering, what is the Sephora Spring Saving Event? How do I hear about it? How do I get in the know? You need to sign up to be a beauty insider. I'll put a link below this video. I've been a member for a very long time. I've been Rouge for a long time, which is the top tier. It means you buy a lot of things at Sephora, which I do. Sephora is my go-to spot for makeup, skincare, hair care, hair tools, brushes, so many things. They have it all there. Anyway, so this spring savings event is such a great time to either stock up on your favorites, whether that's sunscreen, looking ahead to summer months, or try some new stuff. It's a great time to try new stuff. So make sure you sign up to be a beauty insider. Again, that link's going to be below the video. And let's go ahead and get into the demo now. So I'm starting with a hydrating primer from Laura Mercier. Love the way this feels on my skin. And then I have mixed up my perfect color of NARS Sheer Glow by mixing two different colors together. So I've just dipped my foundation brush in it, dotted it on my skin, and now I'm using the brush in very small circles to blend the foundation in all over my face, making sure I'm going down beyond my chin, along my jawline, a little bit onto my ears, and just blending the foundation in so it looks really natural. For concealer, I'm using the NARS Creamy Concealer. I love how easy this is to apply, and it blends in really beautifully and wears really nicely throughout the day. So I like to use the warmth of my fingertip to blend the concealer in, whether that's under my eye or if I'm covering any other spots. And your ring finger is your lightest finger, so use that when you're working around your eye area. So now that my base is finished, I'm going to show you how to add dimension and glow and warmth and light and all the good things to your face. So it should look like just one color to you. That's what it looks like to me. I'm gonna start with a little contour. I'm using my favorite contour palette. So contour is not the same as bronzer. Contour is intended to add darkness to like the curves of your face or the further back parts. So cheekbone here, under the cheekbone is a little bit more recessed. So you wanna put some shadow back in there since you've just flattened everything out. Put a little contour under your cheekbone, and then the outside of your forehead is further back than the top or front of your forehead, so you want to put a little shadow back in there again. So contour's point is to like add the dimensions back to your face again that may have been lost by just flattening it out with foundation, which is exactly what foundation does do. Bronzer, on the other hand, is intended to add warmth and a fake tan look. You really don't want to typically use bronzer where you would put contour because usually it's a little bit warmer and it doesn't look as realistic as if you were using a more gray, like shadow-based color in the contour. So this is all I'm gonna do for contour. It's very light, very understated. That's how I like it anyway. But let's go ahead and do bronzer now. This is the NARS Laguna bronzer. It's a classic bronzer. So I'm using a Sephora brush that I've had for a long time, and there was some gold overspray here, but I've knocked a lot of it off just from use. So I'm just pressing the brush kind of into the product, picking up a little bit, and I'm gonna go in bigger circles on my cheek and just add it until I'm happy with the depth of color. I'm doing bronzer first because I wanna see kind of how dark I wanna go before I add highlight and blush as well. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more, just for fun. It's kind of hard to mess up. The NARS Laguna bronzer, it's easy to apply, but it doesn't go on and look splotchy. Yeah, I'm happy with that color that's showing up. And if you use a light hand, like I'm not pressing the brush really hard, I'm just kind of lightly, barely touching my skin, it'll look really natural. Notice too, I'm going down my neck. Do not forget your neck or your ears, especially if you're wearing your hair in a ponytail. Okay, I'm kind of pleased with that darkness. I think that looks good. Let's move on to blush now. I love a bright pink blush. So this is by Bobbi Brown. The shade is Pretty Pink. I'm going to focus right here just on the apples of my cheek, and the easy way to find the apples of your cheek is to smile and then put the blush right on the most center part of your cheek. After I've put the blush on the center part, I'll kind of work it out. I'm not going to go up very high. I just want to spread the circle a little bit. So I'm just doing circles again and kind of pulling the pink blush out a little bit so it's not too small of circles like a porcelain doll. So now you're starting to see a little bit of color come back, a little life come back into the face with the contour, the bronzer, and the blush. And I'm gonna add highlight now for brightness and reflection and glow. This is by NARS. It is the Illuminating Loose Powder in the Orgasm shade. I love this shade for the blush, lip products, you name it. It's always good stuff. So it is a loose powder. I'm gonna pick up a small flat brush I have here and focus this close to the blush, but on the higher point of my cheeks. So I'm gonna find the blush and then put the highlight right here. I'm just gonna tap it in and then sweep it back and forth. Look at that, can you see it? You can, I know you can. It's so beautiful. So I'm gonna go over here to my left cheek and do the same thing. So here's no highlight, here's highlight. Do you see that? It just adds so much reflection and dimension back to the face that you lose with foundation. You look fresh and glowy, and that's the point. All right, now I'm gonna grab a little bit more highlight and go to the center of my forehead and down my nose. Center of my forehead here. I'm highlighting the higher parts of my face because I did contour on the darker parts. And then the last place I'm gonna put highlight, just to show you a new idea, maybe, is I'm gonna grab a packing eyeshadow brush, pick up a little bit of the highlight from the container and then tap it into the lid here because I don't want too much. And I'm gonna press this at the inner corner of my eye. So with this eyeshadow brush, I'm just gonna press the highlight here and dot it out. And then bring it in here and down a little bit. So this just adds a nice brightness to the inner part of your eye. It makes your eyes look a little bit bigger, a little bit more awake. It also then adds a little consistency between your eye look and your highlight. So when I use a lot of finishing powders, I like to spray with a finishing spray. This is the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. It's like such a nice fine mist. So it's good for spraying your face after doing makeup and not feeling like you've just washed it all away. So for lipstick, it feels appropriate to do a bright pink. This is the Urban Decay Vice Love Child lip stain. So it's really easy to wear because it just stains your lips. It's easy to put on, especially if you stop talking. And some lip stains can feel really dry. They can feel like they crack on your lips or they fade unevenly. This does not. It fades evenly. It wears really nicely and feels good on the lips. So the lip tint is on. I'm going to finish with a little bit of gloss. This also has a little color to it, but when I say little, I mean it. Very little. So it just adds some hydration. This is also from NARS. When I put this just on plain bare lips, it adds a touch of glow and maybe a little bit of pink, but for the most part, I like it as kind of a neutral gloss. So here is the finished look. Big difference from just doing foundation and concealer, right? Even if you were to just choose like blush and highlight, if you wanted to only do two, that would make such a big difference. The blush adds color to your face, youthfulness, vibrancy, and then the highlight reflects light. That's the point of it. So it just makes you look awake and like you have dewy, glowy skin. Of course, I think a big impact comes from the bronzer, which is good for if you're trying to infuse a little life, a little warmth into your face this spring. So I know I mentioned this at the beginning, but I'm gonna tell you one more time so you don't forget. The Sephora Spring Savings event is such a great time to stock up on your faves, get new things. You can find exact dates for when you can shop below the video. And if you are like, oh no, I haven't ever signed up before, is it too late? Nope, it isn't. Go ahead and sign up, and that will get you access to the event. This video was created in partnership with Sephora.